Okay, so this one, right? This one, I'm recording the lesson for JQ, okay? So, this thing is how your first it's immature cells, immature follicle cells, then the follicles will become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So the ovum or the egg is the one that is released. The leftover is actually just called the follicle. Okay, can? Now, what happens is when a person is pregnant, right? When a person is pregnant, when their placenta is big already, the placenta becomes the placenta acts as the endocrine gland, meaning the placenta starts releasing the estrogen and progesterone so that the placenta becomes bigger and bigger. But when the person is first pregnant, when the mother is first pregnant, the placenta is very, very small. So the hormone progesterone and estrogen is actually released by this leftover. This is known as corpus luteum. It's not in your syllabus anymore, but it's in your textbooks. Okay, so the corpus luteum is the leftover of the follicle cells after ovulation. Okay, when the egg cell is released, the leftover follicle cell is called corpus luteum. And this corpus luteum will actually release progesterone and estrogen for the first 3 months of pregnancy. By the time it's 3 months, okay, so after 3 months, this placenta is thick enough already. The uterus lining becomes a thick placenta. Then the placenta, so this is the baby, right? Okay, the placenta starts becoming an endocrine gland. That means the placenta is the one that starts releasing hormone, progesterone, and estrogen. Why do you need these two hormones? Corpus luteum also releases. Right. Corpus luteum also releases the hormone. Why do you need to release these two hormones? Corpus luteum and then after that placenta releases progesterone and estrogen. As the baby grows, the fetus grows, the placenta needs to grow. Okay, if the placenta comes out, that means you have your period lah. So what does that mean? The baby is alive or dead? That's called a miscarriage. Do you understand? So if you want to have a successful pregnancy, the whole 9 months, you have to make sure the placenta remains there. That means you cannot get your period for 9 months. The uterus lining has to be intact. What causes the uterus lining to be thick? It's the progesterone and estrogen. Get it? So the estrogen is to build, the progesterone is to maintain. These two hormones also stop FSH and LH. Why do you want to stop the FSH? The FSH is to cause one more egg to be mature. Do you want any more eggs coming out? No, because then you can have another baby. You don't want, you already have that one baby. So it's actually also to stop FSH. So when a mother is pregnant, she has a lot of progesterone and estrogen. And this is released by placenta and corpus luteum. Can you understand? Okay. So I wrote for you already. I think you can do this, the rest. Okay, can you do the rest? Okay, I just give you a few minutes. Just read through. If you don't understand, we'll discuss together, okay? Just try, just try. All right. So state the name of the process that is occurring in T, ovulation. The ovary secretes hormones that control the growth and maintenance of the lining of the uterus. Name the hormone that stimulates the growth of the lining. Growth of lining is estrogen, huh? Maintain is progesterone. Girls.
바꿔서 썼다. 그러니까 마지막으로 처리했지.
But and say why foundation?
아, 몰라. Because my brother might go back to Korea
Okay. And then
after 1 year. After I finish my.
so what does that have to do with you?
So she can finish the course earlier.
No, but then foundation you cannot continue anywhere one. Okay, so state three ways which sperm cells differ from egg cells. Sperm cell has a tail or a flagellum.
오,
Sperm cells can swim.
좋았어. 어떻게 알았어?
Flagellum is what it has. It can swim.
그냥 하늘
Okay?
위에서
It's
탔어.
smaller. It's smaller. Shh, 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 shh. It has an acrosome. Remember what's acrosome? Okay? Can?
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, mitochondria.
It has egg also has mitochondria.
Hmm?
So egg also has mitochondria. It still needs energy, right? It still needs respiration. Right? So if you want to say mitochondria, you must say it has more mitochondria in the midsection of the sperm. Human body cells have 46 chromosomes. Human egg cells have 23. What term is used to describe chromosome and gamete haploid? Fertilization occurs in the oviduct. Describe what happens between the events shown in 5.2 and implantation. So this one is for ovulation, and then this one is fertilization. And then after fertilization, what happens? So during the fertilization, this one is just enter. What happens here? What is the enzyme that breaks through the jelly coat?
Acrosome.
Acrosome. Okay.
엄청.
So enzymes in the acrosome break down the jelly layer or jelly coat of egg cell. Then the nucleus of sperm, only the nucleus enters the egg. Okay. So then the nuclei is plural, okay, of sperm and egg fused together. When it fuses together, it becomes double. Double is called what?
Diploid.
Diploid. Nucleus. Okay, when it's a diploid nucleus, what is it called? A
Zygote.
zygote. So the zygote has to mitosis many, many times. Okay. From an embryo. And then the embryo will what? Implant onto move towards the uterus lining and implant. Okay? You cannot implant the zygote. The zygote is too small, not enough cells to grow.
또 말토시스라는 걸 영상 봤는데 지금 그 뭐야? 말토시스라는 걸 보여줘. 그래서 너 보여줬잖아. 아, 또 한이 보이지. 아,
Okay, can? Get it? Okay, did you do this question yet?
Yeah.
The plant one. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, I don't get the one for the pollination.
우리팀이랑 시작하는 게 있어. 100% 좋아해. 진짜 진짜 부러워. 100%야. 안 돼.
Okay,
잘 어울리는 말카걸. 근데 나도 그거 사람이 아니기 때문에 사람이 엄마.
do you understand what this diagram is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question before.
Did this question before?
Huh?
Where got? No, no. Okay, so this one is self-pollination or okay, what kind of pollination is this?
Cross-pollination.
Uh, um, actually, right?
Oh, methylpollination is
This
with pollination.
yeah, this is actually called wind pollination.
그걸 받아.
Okay,
나
why is it wind pollination? You see the stigma is feathery. Okay, so it has a feathery stigma to catch the pollen. Also, it has the anthers are outside the flower. Okay, can you see that? The anthers, this one is the anther. The anther is hanging outside the flower. Okay. Name this type of pollination. This one is cross pollination. Okay, B is the pollen tube. Remember, the pollen grain will grow. Okay, the pollen grain will grow this pollen tube, bringing the male nucleus, and then it will fuse together with the female nucleus. Okay, so name structure B and share its function. So it's a pollen tube. It carries the male gamete to the ovule. For plants, it's called ovule. Okay. Fertilization occurs at C. Okay. Describe what happens at fertilization. So the male and female nuclei fuse to form zygote. That's 2 marks already. Zygote, one more. 1 mark. Male and female fuse. This one. Okay. Seed formation. Seed formation occurs after fertilization. Seeds are formed from the inside of fruits. Name the part of the flower that develops into a seed. Who forms a seed? The ovule forms a seed. The ovary is the fruit. The whole ovary is the fruit. Okay, seed dispersal, no need. You don't learn anymore. Seed dispersal is spreading the seed. Why is it important to spread the seed? So that the plants don't grow so close together. But you don't learn anymore. Okay. Enzymes inside the seed. Okay, so for example, I give you an example what are seeds are. Rice, barley, wheat are seeds. What do they have inside? You eat rice for what? Nutrient. Protein. You eat rice for what? Starch, carbohydrate. So it stores the starch. But in order for it to be used by the seed for respiration, what do you need? Glucose or starch? Glucose. So the enzyme is to break down the starch. Okay? So amylase breaks down starch to form glucose for respiration. Because if there's no respiration, it cannot grow. Okay? Can? Alright, so now we're going to discuss your exam, your quiz questions, right? Okay, let's look at the eye. Let's do some recap on the eye. Okay? So, here, there are 3 things you need to remember about the eye. Okay, what are the 3 things? The first part is the parts of the eye. Okay, the first thing you need to remember is the parts of the eye. Okay, so here is the cornea. Here is the iris. Okay, this is the lens. Alright, now here is the ciliary. No, this is the ciliary muscle. A is ciliary muscle. This part is the suspensory ligaments. The lens, suspensory ligaments, and ciliary muscle. These three structures are used for accommodation. Accommodation is to see near and far things. Okay? This is the iris, and the middle part here is the pupil. The pupil and the iris is used for pupil reflex. That means how much light you want to allow into your eye. Okay? Can? Alright. And then this part here is your fovea. And this part here is your blind spot. The entire retina, okay, this part is retina. The retina has rod and cone cells. Rod cells are for black and white vision at low light intensity. So here is rod, 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 rod. And then here rod, rod, and then here rod, 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 rod. Cone cells are for high light intensity for colored vision. So cone cells are only in the fovea, they are cone cells. Blind spot, no cones, no rods, because it is for the optic nerve to bring information to the brain. Do you remember? Yes, yes. Okay, so you need to know parts of the brain. You need to know
Parts of the brain.
parts of the brain, parts of the eye. Okay, all right. These are the parts of the eye. Can?
Yes.
That's it. Okay. Complete the table. Name of muscle A. Yeah. Okay. Ciliary muscle. Allows the lens to become fatter, focusing on close subject. Iris circular muscle. Okay. So your iris has two muscle. Circular is like this. When the circular contracts to cause pupil to constrict. Okay? When the circular contract, your pupil become smaller. What is the other kind of muscle? Radial.
Radio.
Radial muscle is the one that is this direction. When the radial contract, your pupil dilate. Dilate means to become bigger. Constrict means to become smaller. Okay? Okay? Do you understand? This question, which one do you talk about?
Huh?
This question you must talk about constrict or dilate. You must talk about constrict. Because the question asks you about iris circular muscle. Okay? Get it? Okay. Okay, if you don't want to cancel this one, can lah. Voluntary means it's an automatic. Automatic. Okay, antagonistic means a pair of muscles that, okay, a pair of muscles that work together or opposing direction.
Opposite.
Opposing, that means when one contract, the other relax. When one contract, the other relax. To pull from to opposite directions. Okay? That work in opposing directions. So this is a very funny question. They didn't ask you what is the name of the muscle. They ask you what happens when muscle C contracts. When muscle C contracts, the eye moves where? To the right lah. That's it. I contract, I move to the right. Get it? Cancel or not?
Yeah.
All of you are trying to move your eyes to the right. Okay, so okay, so uh the eyeball pull to the right. Explain how you return to original position. So muscle D contracts. Muscle D contracts. And then muscle C relax. That's it. That's all you need to write. Can?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Okay, this one is what I wrote just now. This is the aqueous humor. The first one is the cornea, then the aqueous humor, then the pupil. This one you don't learn anymore, but it's just telling you about the fluid in the eye. Okay, so this is the eye, right? Here's your iris, right? Okay. So this aqueous humor is the liquid here. This virtuous humor is the liquid here. Okay? And then vitreous humor. Retina. Okay?
Mhm.
Complete the table to distinguish between rod and cone cell. Okay, so I just told you. So it is uh high light in rods is low light intensity, or you can say black and white vision. Oh, actually, it's low light intensity. Okay, so where is it distributed? Distri distributed equally on the, oh my goodness, I don't know how to spell. Equally on the retina, except in where don't have?
Phobia and blind
Fovea
spot.
and blind spot. Fovea and blind spot don't have, okay? Okay, cones are high light intensity. So in yellow spot only or in fovea only. Do you understand?
Mhm.
Okay. Before and after, before entering, he's in the bright light. After entering a dark, oh my goodness, his eye pop out. No, cannot. After entering, light. Okay. Okay. So iris, pupil. So scary actually. After you draw sclera. Sclera is the bone, the white part. Okay. Explain how the size of the pupil was changed when Jasmine went into the dark room. So the
Dilate.
pupils dilate. Why?
More lies.
Radial. Okay, so you must say radial muscles of the iris contract. Okay, radial muscles of the iris contract. Circular muscles relax. Okay, why only see shapes and not colors? Because low light intensity is only detected by the rod cells. Rod cells can only see black and white vision. Okay, oh, it's 3 marks. Okay, so cone cells need high light intensity to detect colors. Why is it always like that? So weird. Something wrong with this thing. When I make it bigger or smaller, it just Cannot, the ends disappear. I don't know why. There's nothing here. I don't know why the ends disappear. It's weird. Okay, get it?
Mhm.
Okay. Figure 3.1 shows part of the thoracic and abdomen cavities in a human.
Mhm.
Okay, thoracic cavity is your lungs, abdominal cavity, this is your liver. Okay, if you don't know, this is your liver, this is your gallbladder, this is your bile duct, this is your pancreas, this is your stomach, this is your large intestines, this is your small intestines. You don't know, seriously, we sit down and cry, okay? Okay, we really, really need to sit down and cry. Do you know all these parts?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Name the structures G, H, and M. G, esophagus. H, what's H? H is diaphragm. M is large intestines. Okay. Can? Okay. Conversion of glucose to glycogen is the who converts?
Liver.
Liver. Okay. And if you don't know the liver is P, we all sit down and cry. Absorption of the products of digestion is your small intestines or your ileum. Small intestines also can. And the small intestines is L. Do you get it correct? Storage of bile, not production of bile. Production of bile is the liver. Storage is gallbladder. Chemical digestion of protein in acidic pH, stomach. Stomach releases hydrochloric acid, right?
Mhm.
And it is J. Okay? Fat is particularly difficult to digest and is not water soluble. Okay, what is this called? Emulsification. Okay, who does emulsification? Bile. What is it, say?
I got it right.
Okay, very good. Okay, what increases?
Surface area.
Yeah. Surface area of fat, faster digestion of fat by lipase. Okay. All right. The next part of coordination is your hormones. What is the definition of a hormone? A hormone is a substance released by your endocrine gland that alters the activity of one or more target organs. Target organ is an organ that reacts in response to a hormone. Okay? So insulin is use words increase, decrease, stay the same because up if you have insulin, the uptake of glucose increases, the uptake of glucagon decreases. If you have insulin, the concentration of glucose decreases. If you have glucagon, the concentration of glucose increases. Who else causes your blood glucose to rise? Adrenaline. Remember, adrenaline causes your pupils to dilate. Adrenaline causes heart rate to increase, breathing rate to increase. Adrenaline also causes blood glucose to increase. All of this is for more aerobic respiration because you're running from a tiger. Remember? Adrenaline is the fight or flight. Okay, fight or flight. Okay, so adrenaline. Explain why the concentration of glucose in blood is an example of negative feedback. So your glucose concentration in your blood has to be constant, right? When there is a change, okay, so you say when there's an increase due to intake of glucose, what happens? Hormones are released to correct it and bring it back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Can you understand? Can your glucose level be very, very high or very, very low? No, that's called a dead person. Okay, or a person with type 1 diabetes. Okay?
What's negative feedback again?
Negative feedback is when your glucose is high or when your glucose is low, it corrects it and brings it back to normal. That is negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
It's how homeostasis is maintained.
Only for glucose.
Temperature also. But temperature, the negative feedback mechanisms are different lah.
Mm-hmm.
It's sweating, shivering, all that.
Okay.
Get it? Okay. So glucose concentration is kept at a constant level. If glucose levels increase, okay, this change is detected by pancreas and corrected to decrease back to normal. Okay? Pancreas will release insulin. Okay, so the most important is it has to change it back to normal. So it's known as these things are called negative feedback. So this is homeostasis. Homeostasis negative feedback actually is not to say the same. Homeostasis is controlling the constant internal environment. Negative feedback is how we do it. Get it? Okay. The
So we do
mechanisms
homeostasis.
by negative feedback.
Okay.
Yes, correct. Okay. And okay, write a balanced chemical equation for anaerobic respiration. Okay, anaerobic respiration is actually very easy because anaerobic respiration is just glucose
Lactic
to lactic
acid.
acid. What is the formula of glucose? C6H12O6. So lactic acid is just half of that. C3H6O3. Stupid, right? Can you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some students investigate the breathing rate of a 16-year-old male athlete. Okay. From here becomes like this. Do you know how to do this?
Yeah.
Breathing during exercise. Okay, so this one is 0.5. This one is how much? 2. Can see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.0. Why must you write 2.0? Because it's 0.5. Rate of breathing, breaths per minute. So you see, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this one you just have to count out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 18. That's it.
Mm,
So volume of air per minute. Just multiply.
yeah.
How much is this?
36.
Okay. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you exercise, when you exercise, when you exercise, what is increased in your body?
Breathing
Carbon,
hard.
carbon dioxide. Why? Because you're doing more aerobic respiration.
Mm,
Okay. If carbon dioxide goes up, pH goes down. Who detects it?
Brain.
Brain. So brain sends impulses to the
Intercostal muscle.
intercostal muscles and diaphragm muscles to ask it to contract faster or slower.
Fast.
Faster. This is so that more carbon dioxide can be pumped, carried away by the blood. More lactic acid can be carried away by the blood faster. You cannot say only when you exercise you need oxygen. No, when you exercise you need more oxygen, more glucose, more carbon dioxide removed. Okay, it is detected by your brain. This is actually also part of um, homeostasis. It's a mixture of the respiration and homeostasis. Okay,
How's this
because
homeostasis?
it's controlled by the brain, breathing rate. Carbon dioxide increase.
Uh,
You do this to reduce carbon dioxide. It's negative feedback also.
wow.
It's just that they put it in the respiration topic, but it's actually negative feedback. Okay, when when exercise occurs, more respiration releases more carbon dioxide. pH of blood decreases and is detected by brain. Brain sends impulses to intercostal and diaphragm muscles to contract faster. This is to remove more carbon dioxide. Okay. Is so to repay oxygen debt. Do you remember this chapter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last question. Uh, hang on. Pulse rate. Why is it important to pump, same as just now, pump more blood to the muscles to supply more oxygen and glucose to remove carbon dioxide and lactic acid faster. Why concentration of glucose? Uh, oh, sorry, increases, pulse rate increases. Okay, concentration of glucose increases as glucose needed for respiration. Okay. Okay, this one.
유티의 토스트.
Okay, the nervous system. Remember, there is the central nervous system and the peripheral. Okay, brain and spinal cord. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember? Peripheral is the nerves. Oh.
몰랐어.
Hey. Shh.
아니, 두 건이면 기뻐. 난 좋아했어.
좀 있어.
Okay, yay. All right. Okay, painful stimulus, pain receptor,
Sensory neuron.
sensory neuron, relay neuron. Okay. Okay, this is called a reflex action. Reflex. That means you can. That means it's like you just do it automatically. Reflex. Okay. These are plants. Plot Q is planted in the dark. Plot P and R are planted in the sunlight. This one keeps looking for light. That's why it goes long and thin.
그런 거 아니다. 나이트 스톱 나이트 이거
Okay. All right. State the conditions in port P and port Q. Okay. So port P is in the light and port Q is in the dark.
네, 나 갖고 왔어. 나내 마음속으로 아, 나이스로 보이지?
All right. Name the growth response. Phototropism. Because this one is growing towards the light. Phototropism. Advantage. Okay, so what is the good advantage about phototropism? It will grow towards light, so it has more light energy for what? Photosynthesis. The plant shoot will grow towards the light. Don't just say absorb more light energy. Able to absorb more light energy for photosynthesis. Okay? Auxin, do you remember what's auxin? Auxin is produced at the shoot tip, diffuses down the shoot, accumulates at the darker side or the shaded side, causing cell elongation. Okay? How auxin the growth response at R? So, auxin is produced at the shoot tip, diffuses down the shoot, accumulates at the shaded side of shoot, causes cell elongation. Okay. And the plant will bend towards the light. Do you know what cell elongation? Cell becomes longer. No, cannot. They will be too stuffy. Okay, ready? Can you understand? Cannot? Alright, so why is the audio? Okay,
Check your mic.
my mic is. Ayo, don't tell me my mic is there.
Ah,
Okay, can you see? But it's supposed to be quick.
there's no audio.
Wait, I wonder how long there's no audio. Try this.
Check which mic you haven't detected.
I think I can't do it when it's halfway.
Ah, ah.
Hello, let me try. Okay, so guys, do you remember what everything is?
No.
So this is the. When is your quiz? When is your quiz?
Mine.
Yeah, yours not yet, right? Second, right? Yours is when? Ah, next Thursday. All right, this is fat. This is fat. This is
Random muscle.
okay. Wait This is the muscle, hair erector muscle. Okay, this is the hair erector muscle. This is the arteriole leading to the capillaries under the blood. This is the sweat glands, and this is the receptors. Okay, can you understand?
What's R?
R is the hair. R is the hair. Okay. Okay, stands upright to trap its hair. R. Okay. Constricts to reduce blood flow is the S, the arterioles. Not artery, not capillary, it's arterioles. Stops producing sweat. Sweat glands. Okay. Describe how the nervous system coordinates the response in cold weather. So, who detects the change?
Brain.
So
Hmm?
temperature decrease is the stimulant. Okay, detected
The receptor.
by the receptors on skin. So when it's detected, it sends where?
Brain.
Sends it to the brain. Okay. So electrical impulses travels through the sensory neuron to the brain. Okay, and then
How about relay neuron?
wait lah. Relay neuron sends impulses to motor neuron. Okay, so what does the motor neuron do?
Impulses to the effector.
What's the effector?
Muscle, hair erector muscle.
Sends impulses to the hair erector muscles. Okay? all finish the rest
Yes.
now at home? We finish this question. Hey, wait! Oi!
Director.
You are? You see, I haven't even finished talking fact already. Okay, last question. Here. How negative feedback is involved in the control of body temperature? So when the body temperature goes down, high erector muscles contract to trap a layer of air to insulate heat. The skeletal muscles will contract to shiver to generate heat. What else?
What's the muscle?
Skeletal.
Oh.
I'm telling you now. I taught you all before. Skeletal muscles are the muscles connected to the skeleton.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. All
Alright. So the temperature of the body decreases. Okay. Head erector muscles. It's only 3 marks, right? Contract to trap layer of air. This decreases temperature as it acts as an okay. Please go home and finish it. Finish the rest.